Hello, everybody. So, I figured it would be kind of funny and also a bit fun to do something else for a change. So, I'm going to be reading some Christmas stories because that's what you do when Christmas comes. I'm probably going to be reading about three different stories, depends on how long they are. But this first one I found off of Project Gutenberg. Gutenberg.org is where you can go to get some awesome free audiobooks and ebooks and EPUBs and stuff like that. Um, if you don't like paying or really old books, this story is called What Christmas Is as We Grow Older. I don't know who it's by. Time was with most of us when Christmas Day, encircling all our limited world like a magic ring, left nothing out for us to miss or seek, bound together all our home enjoyments, affections, and hopes, grouped together and every one around the bright Christmas fire, and made the little picture shining in our bright young eyes complete. Time came, perhaps all too soon, when our thoughts overleaped that narrow boundary, when there was someone very dear, we thought then, very beautiful and absolutely perfect, wanting to the fullness of our happiness, when we were wanting to, or, as we thought so, which did just as well, at the Christmas hearth by which that someone sat, and when we intertwined with every wreath and garland of our life that someone's name. That was the time for the brightest visionary Christmases, which have long arisen from us to show faintly after summer rain, in the palest edges of the rainbow. That was the time for the beautified enjoyment of the things that were to be, and never were, and yet the things that were so real, in our resolute hope that it would be so hard to say, now. What realities achieved have been stronger? What? Did that Christmas never really come, when we and the priceless pearl, who was our young choice, were never received? After the happiest of totally impossible marriages, by the two united families, previously at daggers, drawn on our account, when brothers and sisters-in-law, who had always been rather cool to us before our relationship was affected, perfectly dotted on us, when fathers and mothers overwhelmed us with unlimited incomes, was that Christmas dinner never really eaten, after which we arose and generously and eloquently rendered honor unto our late rival, present in the company, then and there exchanging friendship and forgiveness, and founding an attachment not to be surpassed in Greek or Roman story, which subsisted until death? Has that same rival long ceased to care for that same priceless pearl, and married for money, and become unsurious? Above all, do we really know now that we should probably have been miserable if we had won and won the pearl, and that we are better without her? That Christmas, when we had recently achieved so much fame, when we had been carried in a triumph somewhere for doing something great and good, when we had won an honored and ennobled name, that arrived and were received at home in a shower of tears of joy, it is possible that that Christmas has not come yet, and is our life here at the best so constituted that, pausing as we advance at such noticeable milestone in the track at this great birthday, we look back on the things that never were, as naturally and as full as gravely as on the things that have been and are gone, or have been and still are. If it be so, and so it seems to be, must we come to the conclusion that life is little better than a dream, and little worth the loves and strivings that we crowd into it? No, far be such miscalled philosophy from us, dear reader. On Christmas Day, nearer and closer to our hearts be the Christmas spirit, which is the spirit of actful usefulness, perseverance, and cheerful discharge of duty, kindness, and even forbearance. It is in the last virtue especially that we are, or should be, strengthened by the unaccomplished visions of our youth. For who shall say that they are not our teachers to deal gently even with the impalpable nothings of the earth? Therefore, as we grow older, let us be more thankful that the circle of our Christmas associations and of the lessons that they bring expands. Let us welcome every one of them and summon them to take their places by the old Christmas hearth. Welcome, old aspirations, glittering creatures of an ardent fantasy, to your shelter underneath the holly. We know you and have not outlived you yet. Welcome, old projects and old loves, however fleeting to your nooks among the steadier lights that burn all around us. Welcome, all that was ever real to our hearts, and for earnestness that made you real, thanks to heaven. Do we build no Christmas castles in the clouds now? Let our thoughts fluttering like butterflies among these flowers of children bear witness. Before this boy, there stretches out a future brighter than we have ever looked on in our old romantic time, but brightly with honor and with truth. Around this little head on which the sunny curls lie heaped, the graces sport as prettily and airily as when there were no scythe within the reaches of time to shear away the curls of our first love. Upon another girl's face near it, placider, but smiling bright, a quiet and contented little face. We see a home, fairly written, shining from the word, as rays shine from a star. We see how, when our graves are old, other hopes than ours are young, other hearts than ours are moved, how other ways are smoothed, how other happiness blooms, ripens, and decays. No, not decays. For other homes and other bands of children, not yet in being, for ages yet to be, arise and bloom and ripen to the end of all. Welcome everything. Welcome alike what has been, and what never was, and what we hope may be, to your shelter underneath the holly, to your places round the Christmas fire, where what sits is open-hearted. In yonder do we see obtruding, furtively, upon the blaze an enemy's face? By Christmas Day do we forgive him. If the injury he has done us may admit of such companionship, let him come here and take his place. If otherwise, unhappily, let him go, hence assured that we will never injure nor accuse him. On this day we shut out nothing. Pause, says a low voice. Nothing? Think. On Christmas Day we will shut out from our fireside nothing, not on the shadow of a vast city where the withered leaves are lying deep, the voice replies. Not on the shadow that darkens the whole globe, not the shadow of the city of the dead. Not even that. Of all days in the year, we will turn our faces towards that city upon Christmas Day, and from its silent hosts bring those that we loved among us, city of the dead, in the blessed name wherein we are gathered together at this time, and in the presence that is here among us. According to the promise, we will receive and not dismiss thy people who are dear to us. Yes, we can look upon these children angels that alight so solemnly, so beautifully among the living children by the fire, and can bear to think how they departed from us, entertaining angels unawares. As the patriarchs did, the playful children are unconscious of their guests, but we can see them, can see a radiant arm around one favorite neck, as if there were a tempting of that child away. Among celestial figures there is one, a poor misshapen boy on earth, of a glorious beauty now, of whom his dying mother said it grieved her much to leave him here alone, for so many years as it was likely he would elapse before he came to her, being such a little child. But he went quickly, and was laid upon her breast, and in her hand she leads him. There was a gallant boy, who fell upon a burning sand beneath a burning sun, and said, "Tell them at home, with my last love, how much I could have wished to kiss them once, but that I died contented and had done my duty." Or there was another, over whom they read the words, "Therefore we commit his body to the deep, and so consigned him to the lonely ocean and sailed on." Or there was another, who lay down to his rest in the dark shadow of great forests, and on earth awoke no more. Oh, shall they not, from sand and sea and forest, be brought home at such a time? There was a dear girl, almost a woman, never to be one, who made a morning Christmas in an hour of joy, and went her trackless way to the silent city. Do we recollect her, worn out, faintly whispering what could not be heard, and falling into that last sleep of weariness? Oh, look upon her now. Oh, look upon her beauty, her serenity, her changeless youth, her happiness. The daughter of Jairus was recalled to life to die, but she, more blessed, has heard the same voice, saying unto her, "Arise forever." We had a friend, who was our friend from the early days, with whom we often pictured the changes that were to come upon our lives, and merrily imagined how we would speak and walk and think and talk when we came to be old. His destined habitation in the city of the dead received him in his prime. Shall he be shut out from our Christmas remembrance? Would his love have so excluded us? Lost friend, lost child, lost parent, sister, brother, husband, wife. We will not so discard you. You shall hold your cherished places in our Christmas hearts, and by our Christmas fires, and in the season of immortal hope, and on the birthday of immortal mercy, we will shut out nothing. The winter sun goes down over the town and village. On the sea it makes a rosy path, as if the sacred tread fresh upon the water. A few more moments, and it sinks, and the night comes on, and lights begin to sparkle in the prospect. On the hillside, beyond the shapelessly diffused town, and in the quiet keeping of the trees that gird the village steeple, remembrances are cut in stone, planted in common flowers, growing in grass, intertwined with lowly brambles, around many a mound of earth. In town and village, there are doors and windows, closed against the weather. There are flaming logs heaped high. There are joyful faces. There is healthy music of voices. Be all ungentless, and harm excluded from the temples of our household gods. But be those remembrances admitted tender encouragement. They are of the time, and all its comforting and peaceful reassurances, and of the history that reunited, even upon earth, the living and the dead, and of the broad benefice and the goodness that too many men have tried to narrow shreds. That is the end of the story. Thank you for listening. I did not expect it would be that long, but thank you for listening to me read a story in as concise of a way as I could. I hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I hope to see you more often in 2025. So, thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Holy fuck, it's hard not to like do the meme when they say Among Us, bro. Oh my god. Amogus.